Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on Section 8 real estate investing. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video so you can see new videos we're coming out with to keep you in the loop of what's going on in Section 8 real estate investing. Now, as some of you guys know, I have a lot of Section 8 properties, so I'm here to kind of give a little bit of wealth of knowledge to you guys in case you're kind of on the fence like I was years and years ago on whether or not you want to kind of jump into this. Now, if you're watching this video, you obviously are wondering, you have interest in kind of going into Section 8 housing as an investor. You're wondering whether it's worth it, okay? I was in your shoes, which is why I'm doing these videos, because there's not enough information out there, about the programs, about Section 8, and I have a ton of experience being an actual Section 8 landlord. I can tell you all about it. That's why we're here. All right, let's cut to it. So, the pros of being a Section 8 landlord. Now, guaranteed rent percentage. There's a common misconception that Section 8 tenants, every single month, you get a paycheck for the full amount of rent. That's not correct. It's a case-by-case basis. Every single tenant that you have has a caseworker. Every caseworker goes over that tenant's income yearly. Now, if a tenant is making under the poverty line of money, well under the median income for that area, they might have 100% subsidy, right? So 100% of that rent would be guaranteed. Now, there could be other tenants that you have that are Section 8 that, for instance, make maybe right around the median or even above the median, but because they have a couple of kids, that brings their overall, affordability for that area down, okay? So what that means is maybe not instead of a full subsidy of rent, the Section 8 department in that area only gives them maybe 75% of that rent. So on the first of the month, every single month, you get that payment for 75%, but the tenant is still on the hook for that extra 25%. Now, you might say, well, that's not a full guarantee. Well, it's a 75% guarantee. And still, if that tenant continues to be late over and over and over again on their 25%, two things can happen. One, they can get into serious trouble and risk losing that voucher, right? None of these families want to lose that voucher. It's very hard to get. There's long wait times to get on, even on the wait list, to get some of these vouchers in some of these areas. But also, you can go back to Section 8, go to the caseworker and say, hey, listen, so-and-so hasn't paid their rent on time. In 3 months, you guys need to reevaluate the income. And this has happened to me numerous times where I have a tenant that's paying maybe 10% or 15%. I go to the caseworker and say, excuse me, so-and-so isn't paying their share of the rent. They reevaluate the income, and that 75% stipend that they were getting from Section 8 goes from 75 to 100, right? So this program is totally tailored towards making sure the landlord gets paid and the tenant is taken care of. It's great. I absolutely love it. It's why I have so many properties that are Section 8. So guaranteed rent percentage. That rent percentage can change year to year. So for example, if your tenant has a year where they make less money and say maybe they were only getting 60% of a stipend, that could go up from 60 to 100, from 60 to 85% guaranteed for you. But it works the other way as well. You could have a tenant that has two 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids and maybe gets a new job making more money. The next year comes, those kids turn 18, they're no longer dependents, right? So now their allotment just went from 100% stipend every month down to 60, down to 50%. Odds are if that happens, your tenant has proven that they have good credit. Section 8 is not just gonna drop their guaranteed rent percentage per month if they cannot afford it. That's very important. Now, on-time direct deposit, guys, I can't tell you how nice it is every single first day of the month when I get a direct deposit from good old Uncle Sam, okay? There's nothing like it. Even if you guys have properties that are straight cash, you have properties that aren't Section 8, when that money comes in every single month, you go, yes, it's mailbox money, right? That's what we like to call it. Checks in the mail, checks in the mail. Go out, you look in the mailbox, get a fat stack of checks. On-time direct deposits are fantastic. They're great. You don't have to cash that check. You don't have to worry about it. You wake up on the first of the month and you open up your bank account and boom, all that money's in there, okay? Now, protection of your capital. This is huge, right? There is a huge stigma out there, and it's not correct, that Section 8 tenants have a higher chance of destroying your property. I absolutely hate that stigma. I can't stand it. Section 8 they are looking for investors. They need properties, right? There is such a demand for affordable housing in so many areas in this country, especially right now with this housing boom. So HUD tries to make it as glamorous as possible for us investors. How do they do that? They want to protect our capital. They want to protect our investment. So what do? They say, we're going to do random inspections of the property to make sure there are no damages of the property, right? If there is, that gets reported. So you're constantly able to see the inside of the property. You have a government entity checking on your property, making sure it's not damaged, right? Now, granted, some small things will happen here and there. It happens with every tenant, right? It happens even in properties I own with straight cash tenants. But the difference is when you have somebody going in there once, twice, sometimes even 3 times a year to inspect these properties, things can only get so bad before they're brought to your attention, right? If some of you guys have other rental properties, you know what that's like when you would have been able to, a $200 fix, had you known about it 4 months ago, is now a $1,200 fix because it went totally unknown to you, right? Now, drugs. This is a big one, especially in some of these areas that aren't as good, right? Where some of you guys might be thinking about Section 8ing a property and going through some kind of program like the Housing Choice Voucher Program. This is huge. During an inspection, if there are any drugs found in the house, that tenant immediately, not only are they begin the eviction process, but they lose their Housing Choice Voucher forever. Same goes for damages. If they are damaging your property, they have the chance to lose their voucher forever. Nobody on this program, on Section 8, it is so hard to get into the program. Nobody wants to lose this program. This is once you're in it, you're in. You have a voucher. Nobody wants to risk that. And a lot of investors don't understand that. Your investment is totally protected. Occupancy, right? There's nothing worse than having a two-bedroom or a 3-bedroom home, and you do a drive-by your property and there's 7 cars out front, and you realize that $800 a month, that $1,000 a month property that you're charging rent is now housing, 7, 8 people. It's an absolute no-no under Section 8. Part of these random inspections on behalf of HUD to your property, now when I say random, they do let you know because they need to make sure that you know about them gaining access. But they will report back to you. They'll report back to you on all this stuff. Now, occupancy is a big one, because on everyone's voucher who lives in your properties, there's a certain occupancy limit. They cannot go over that limit. That's good for you. You don't want a 4-bedroom house that has 15 people in it. I've seen it. It happens. So there are some things that you don't see very often sometimes with Housing Choice Voucher in the Housing Choice Voucher Program or being a Section 8 landlord. And part of that's due to how hard it is to get these vouchers. A lot of family members might bunk up with each other. I've seen grandparents sleeping on the floor in the living room. I've seen cousins sleeping in tents out back. The need for affordable housing is huge. It's a huge opportunity for investors, right? We just want to make sure you guys are getting the right information because it's not out there. Long-term tenants. What is worse than being a landlord and having a tenant come into a place for a short amount of time? By the time you pay, everybody knows what their holding fees are, how much it costs you, your holding costs every month. When a tenant's not in there, you're paying insurance, you're paying, maybe you're paying your mortgage, you're paying all your bills. It stinks. You're paying for marketing. It's a whole load of mess. You don't want to deal with it. You want long-term tenants. Tell me what is better than Section 8 tenants with all of this stuff, guaranteed rent percentages, direct deposits every single month, and the average stay is so much longer than a normal tenant, right? What happens is every Section 8 tenant is on a 1-year lease, okay? Now that gets automatically renewed at the 11th month mark, all right? Unless you have something to say about it. Another thing that's not written down here is at the 11th month mark, you can also put in for a rental increase for your property, right? Say there's a big boom in your area and rental prices have gone through the roof. What does that mean for you? You can submit a rental increase, and that HUD caseworker and that HUD in that city, that zip code, will go over it, evaluate it, and you're more than likely to get a nice significant rent increase. Okay, long-term tenants. Now, utility stipends, right? If you have a property that is independently metered for electric, for gas, for water, right? If they have independent meters, the tenant is responsible. Tenants get utility stipends. So on top of their guaranteed rent percentage that they get every single month from HUD, they also get a utility stipend to cover utilities. Guys, as a Section 8 landlord, you're not paying any utilities. Now, for example, the only way you do have to pay utilities, now this is a law of being a landlord, if you guys know this or not, I'm not sure. If you have a 2-unit or a 3-unit place and it isn't metered separately, you cannot, you have to pay that. Now you can divide that up and make the tenants pay it. But the way that this is set up, tenants get utility stipends, you don't have to pay utilities. What are you guys paying? It's amazing. What's better than this? There is nothing. All right, and FMR, fair market rents, okay? If you guys are wondering about maybe what Section 8 will pay in your area, okay, go to HUD.com, go to their fair market rent, type in the zip code that you're wondering about, type in the county that it's in, and then it'll come up with a bunch of different bedroom options. Choose how many bedrooms, okay? Because the fair market rent that you'll get for your property is based on bedrooms. That's why you see a lot of investors go after these properties that are numerous bedrooms, okay? The demand for this is also greater, especially when you have families with a large amount of kids, all right? Section 8 has a ton of different rules. For example, you can only have kids in one bedroom that are the same sex. So if you wanna, if you know, a family has 4 kids and it's a 3-bedroom house, there's 1 bedroom for the parents, and if they have 4 children, there has to be 2 girls and 2 boys. One has to share one room, one has to share the other room, okay, in a 3-bedroom. So Section 8 has a lot of stipulations, so the more bedrooms, the better. The more bedrooms, the better. Okay, guys, check that out, fair market rent, if you're wondering what that is in your area. And once you go on that website and look it up, it'll also tell you what each bedroom in your area will get, what the maximum amount is. So for example, guys, I'm here in Nashville. If I looked it up online, a 2-bedroom, I might be able to get a max of $1,100 per month. But a 3-bedroom, I might be able to get $1,700, $1,800 a month. 4-bedroom, I might be able to get $2,100 a month, okay? So take a look at that, check it all out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you know, and follow us for more videos. We're coming at you with a lot of good stuff. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Bye.